I'm Idiotech, and this is my first impressions of Punch Club. Essentially, I'm just going to take a quick look at the game, show you its mechanics, and give you my overall impressions. So, first things first, the options menu. Resolution, full screen mode on or off, retro effect, which is essentially this old school CRT monitor effect, I don't really like it. Volume and language, not much here, it's a 2D game. So we'll jump in, I'm going to load up my previous save and show you how the mechanics work. It is, for the most part, a management simulation game. If you played a tycoon game similar to Game Dev Tycoon, for example, or any other tycoon game in history, that's what this game is. It is not a fighting game. Initially, I thought it might have some fighting mechanics. It doesn't. This is my character. This is my home. So, basically, I'll go through each of the stats here and show you what everything is. We have health. This affects our HP during fights. We have food. We have to eat. We have mood, which affects the quality of our training. And we have energy. When that gets to 0, we have to go to sleep. He'll refuse to do tasks, etc., etc. So, we also have $25. We need money to buy equipment and potions, which are essentially steroids, and training. We have skill points, which we can use in a skill tree. We have a skill tree here. It's quite extensive, actually, and once you max this thing out, you get access to this, which is or this or this. Basically, depending on how you want to fight, either you can be a strength fighter, an agility fighter, or a stamina fighter, or you can mix and match. They encourage you not to mix and match, however, but I think having some stamina is kind of important, as well as some agility. Agility affects accuracy, stamina affects your energy in a fight, and strength affects the amount of damage that you do. So I have various skills here, and in this section I have various skills as well. As you upgrade your character, you get access to more slots for skills. For example, this muscle memory stat here allows my strength never to go below 4. Essentially, you have to continually train every day because you lose a portion of your skill every day, so you have to really work at keeping your stats high, and this helps to sort of negate some of that. So, we are a fighter. The premise of this game is that our father was killed by a man, and we don't really know who that man is, and our father was a champion fighter, and on his deathbed, he basically asked us to go out and become the best fighter in the world, and so that is what we're doing. It is a very 1980s cheesy style storyline, and it works for the most part. The visuals are also very well done, in my opinion. Now, it is an 8-bit, or 16-bit, sorry, retro game, and I think it does it very well. It reminds me of the Super NES days, as well as the soundtrack, which is very fitting, very 80s, very cheesy. It's not the best soundtrack in the world, but it fits the theme of the game well. There's also some call-outs here. This is a Pooh, obvious Simpsons reference. We have Jay and Silent Bob outside, which you might not have spotted. There's a few other things in the game. If we go to the bar, for example, we can engage in fights with Tyler Durden, and this is clearly a scene from Fight Club. So the game references a lot of things. I'm not going to spoil all of that for you in case you do want to pick up this game. So what do we do in this game? Well, there's a few things we can do. We need to essentially have a job so we can get money, so we can buy food, so we can afford equipment, pay to go to the gym, things like that. We need to train our character so he's strong, and then we need to participate in fights. So we'll do all 3 of those things, and then I'll give you my final impressions. So the first thing to do, I guess, would be to go home. Actually, I'll show you the gym. Even though I have my own personal gym at home because I've invested some time into this game, I'll go to the gym and show you. So we can fight with Silver here, we can spar, we can have a training match, and that will give us the skill points, which we can spend in the skill tree. We also earn these from fights. So if you want to upgrade your character, you have to engage in fighting. We have a leaderboard over here. I wish my name was on this board. Sadly, it isn't. We can pay $10 to go to the gym. So these various pieces of equipment will allow us to train various skills. If we go to this one here, it will train our strength, and if you've played Game Dev Tycoon, very similar, these bubbles go up here and your strength increases. As I said, at the end of every day, which you'll see in a moment, we'll lose some of our skills, and so we have to constantly work on these to keep them up to scratch so that we're competitive in fights. So, as he continues to do this, you'll see the little ball starts to get half full, a quarter full, and once it gets completely empty, he will no longer train on that piece of equipment. Okay, so we lost 63 points of strength that day, but we gained 96, so you do have to keep on top of this stuff. If we go on the treadmill, for example, that will boost our stamina. And so you sit here and wait for him to do that. There's not a lot of action in this game. It very much is a management game, and that's very true when it comes to the fight mechanics, which I will show you in a moment. Actually, I will have to show you now. Okay, our HP is full, so that's all that matters. These stats, as far as I can tell, don't seem to affect your quality when it comes to fighting. So we'll jump into a fight. Now, we have a rookie league here, which I sign up for. We also have Ultimate Fights, which is an underground illegal fighting network, and there's also something else to unlock in the game that I currently haven't unlocked. Again, this is a first impressions video. I've put about 2 to 3 hours into this game so far. So we're going to do a fight. This is kind of the core thing to do in this game. So we have an opponent here. His name is Gordon. He has strength 3, he has agility 5, he has stamina 5. So he's better in agility and stamina than us. You can also see accuracy. He's way more accurate than us. He has slightly more energy than us, and he has slightly more defense. So this may be a challenging fight. We have similar HP. We also have skills here. So I usually go with block, which has a low energy cost, low kick, which has the ability to cripple them to some degree, and a powerful uppercut, which I've unlocked recently from going down the Way of the Bear path, which you can see indicated here. So you can also pick a bunch of other skills, and as you progress through the game, you unlock more and more of these skills, and you can change them in and out. You can also change them in and out during the round, which is, I guess, useful. The only core complaint I have here is that the countering system isn't well explained. In fact, it's not explained at all. I have no idea, after playing this game for 2 to 3 hours, how to counter someone with higher agility than me. What do I do to counter this backlash attack? I don't know. What do I do to counter this? I don't know. The game's combat system isn't well explained. Now, I'm sure there's guides online, and that's fine, but I feel that the game should do its job in explaining those things to you in the first place. Alright, so let's jump into a fight. This is where I got kind of disappointed initially, because you don't do anything. I'm literally just sitting here with my mouse watching things happen and watching my health bar go down, and I'll probably lose. So we have our health bar, we have our energy, and as you can see, that's depleting. That depletes when I perform an attack, and when I miss an attack, and when I'm hit. Once that gets to 0, I will be knocked down. Alternatively, he will also be knocked down. So as you can see, I think I might actually win this fight. That was the end of the first round. So at this point, I have the opportunity to change out my skills. Problem is, I don't know what to change out and why, and what the counter to this is, or this, or this. So unless someone creates a guide to this, or I'm missing something extremely obvious, I have a problem with that. I also have a problem with the lack of interactivity during fights. Again, it's a management game, and that's fine. But these fights can go on for a while, and the higher level you get in this game, and the more equally matched you are with your opponent, these things can last a while. As you can see here, it goes to round 10 if you ever get that far. So you can just be sitting there doing not very much for quite some time. This should end the fight now, and I won the fight. Great. So when I win the fight, I gain happiness, obviously, I gain some money, I gain skill points, and I lost some health. So I can show you the skill point system. We'll go to Way of the Bear. So I can unlock these various things. I have 23 points. So what's a counter cross? Can be delivered from a defensive state. Will reduce opponent's energy on hit. Okay, that sounds interesting. Okay, so there's some things in this tree that may start to counter some other people. And maybe it's just a matter of me unlocking stuff much further down the trees before I can see the strategic potential of this game. I can tell that it's there, it's just not well explained, and I hope I'm getting that point across well. Okay, so this replaces my low kick, which I use all the time, so I'm certainly going to invest into that. So I've done that, I've spent some points. What can I do now? Well, I'm hungry, and I have low energy. I'll sign up for my next fight, because that's what you do in this game, and I will go back to the city map, and I will go home. Pretty simple. Now, as you can see, when I travel around, I should probably explain this. When I travel between places, I can go by bus or by foot. If I go by foot and I have a large amount of money, I have the potential of being mugged. If I'm mugged, I then have to fight or run away. If I fight and lose, they steal my money. So you do run a risk walking around. However, you can also just catch the bus, and if you have a lot of money, it's not particularly expensive, so I don't see really why you would worry about that. But anyway, that's a mechanic in the game. So we'll go home, we'll eat some food, because if we don't eat and go to sleep, which we need to do because we're tired, he'll wake up complaining he's hungry. It takes about 2 steaks to fill up my energy bar entirely. They cost about $20 each, so it's kind of expensive, and you do have to routinely go out and work in order to have the money to afford to do that. So I will show you, I've shown you training and I've showed you the fighting system. I am now going to show you the working and how we earn money, and then I'll give you my final impressions and thoughts on this title. So he seems to have had enough sleep now, time to get up. There's a few interactive objects here. If you sit here, you'll, relax and gain some happiness back. There's other things to do. I mean, we have the abandoned warehouse, which is an illegal fighting tournament. We can go to the sporting goods store. Let's do that for the purposes of example. We can talk to this guy and buy equipment. I've bought most of the equipment already. We can also talk to this guy who's a potion vendor who sells steroids, and we can buy steroids, which give us performance enhancing qualities. So, what can we do? We can go to work. Amazing. That was the end of the day. So we'll go to work. Done. Okay, so we hit start, and he will start to work. No problem. We wait for that to tick over, and we make $50. Okay, done. So that's how you make money in this game. Not particularly complicated, not particularly engaging. We can also go to the cafe and work as a pizza delivery boy. Now, I haven't obviously unlocked everything in this game, and there is somewhat of a story to progress through. It's not a bad game, and for a management game, I guess I can't expect much interactivity. However, it's not that compelling after about 2 to 3 hours. Initially, I was quite involved in the game. I felt compelled to progress my character and upgrade, but now I'm starting to get a bit bored by the tedium of the process. Essentially, how it works is I go home. This is how I play the game, and this is why I'm starting to get a little bored with it. I eat food to replenish my food. I go in the gym. I train in my own personal gym, which I'll show you here. I have some basic items. I then go to sleep. I then work if I need money to buy more food, or I go to a fight. That's literally it, and I just repeat that ad nauseum over and over and over again. And for some, that may be enough. That may be compelling. But for me, I'm starting to get a little fatigued by that, and I'm only 2 to 3 hours into the game. So your mileage will vary depending on how much you are a fan of this type of game and genre. So I hope I was able to give you a decent impression of how the mechanics of this game work, what it has to offer for the price. If you found this video helpful or useful in some way, please let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you think of the game if you've already picked it up. And as always, if you want to support the channel, please like, favorite, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time.